looks like a good one. Yes!
Welcome to the FedEx Forum in Memphis. This is Nissan's Drive to the Championship. I'm Barry Tramel, along with John Helsley. As you can see, the Oklahoma Sooners practicing for their Friday night regional semifinal showdown against Syracuse. And John, you just came from the Oklahoma locker room. Sooners seem fairly loose.
They were loose. Most of the guys were sitting around watching some classic game. I'm pretty sure it was a playoff game. Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls. Just kind of relaxed and just hanging out. It was very loose.
One thing I like, Jeff Capel is not bunkering down his team. Sometimes the basketball coaches, you go to the hotel, you stay in the hotel when you're not on the court. Tonight, the Sooners going to the Rendezvous Barbecue, the famous joint here in downtown Memphis. Some Memphis Grizzly fans already recruiting Blake Griffin in hopes for some lottery luck.
Absolutely. Thunder fans, you've got some competition. We got some guys over here offering plates of ribs and all kinds of good stuff, trying to entice Blake Griffin into coming here. Obviously, it's not Blake's choice, but I think clearly they know who they want.
Certainly do. And who they have, the Sooners tomorrow night, is Syracuse, the famed 2-3 zone. Syracuse, much more than just defense, lead the Big East in scoring, but this Syracuse zone will present some problems to Oklahoma.
Talked to a couple of Oklahoma assistants today, Kellen Sampson. I asked them, what's a team you've played this year that played the best 2-3 zone? And kind of sat there for a minute and said, really nobody. I mean, they don't face anybody that plays the zone anywhere close to what Syracuse does. So I think it's a huge thing to watch in this matchup. We've talked about it. We've written about it. And the Sooners are going to have to hit some shots so that Blake Griffin can be a big prominent factor in the game.
We talk a lot all week about the zone, and Oklahoma all worried about the zone. Let me promise you, up in Syracuse, New York, upstate New York, the Orange are worried about Blake Griffin and how to stop him. Talked to some Syracuse guys. Jim Boeheim, the coach, even talked about all the big men in the Big East. DeJuan Blair, such a dominant offensive rebounder. Thabit at UConn. Big men all around the Big East. Jim Boeheim says Blake Griffin is clearly the best player in the country, and he's a collection of all those talents. He scores, he offensive rebounds, he plays defense. Syracuse has got to be worried about Blake Griffin.
Absolutely, and what you said is true. Jim Boeheim talked about, he's basically the complete package. Each of those guys has an aspect to their game. He called Thabit a shot blocker. He called DeJuan Blair an offensive rebounder, and he kind of stopped at those things where Blake can do it all. He's going to be a huge concern of theirs. And, the other thing he talked about was Oklahoma's guards. It seems like he's got a pretty healthy respect for Oklahoma's guards as well, Barry.
Well, should be a great game. Not great history for Oklahoma here in Memphis. Memphis has hosted an NCAA tournament only 4 times previous. The Sooners have been here 2 of those 4 times, went out in the first round on both occasions as a number 4 seed. Sooners trying to rewrite that history here in Memphis. So stay tuned for more coverage on NewsOK.TV as well as in tomorrow's Oklahoman. This is Nissan's Drive to the Championship.